Okay, we are in progress. I don't know.
Okay. All right, the planning board will hold a public hearing on Monday, March 16th, 2026, the Meriden Town Hall on the following application. The Tassinari subdivision as proposed, the former Helen and Pink Marsh estate at 93 Chellis Road, map 233, lot 19 will be divided into two lots. Lot 1, 12.12 acres with the existing home and outbuildings, and the second lot being the remaining undeveloped land, 32.1 acres. Both lots front on Chellis Road. Neither is served by public water or sewer. The property is zoned rural residential. Butters and interested parties are encouraged to attend. Okay, so we want to walk us through the plan.
You guys all know Trevor and then Clayton Platt, who is the surveyor.
I don't know Trevor. Hi, Trevor. I know your
I'm
name.
the one that's gonna have a 12-acre parcel
Okay,
when this is done.
okay,
Yeah, I could probably give, so my grandparents were Helen and Tank
Yeah,
Marsh.
yeah.
So me and my wife are living in the house. And my aunt and uncle own the entire piece they bought from the estate. And now we're doing a subdivision. Me and my wife are gonna have the land with the house. In the outbuildings, and then my aunt Jill, who grew up in that house, will own the 32 acres.
remainder.
Yeah, remainder,
Okay,
and that's pretty much the.
We went with the highlighter, so you can see get a nice view of the ugliness.
Oh, it looks great.
But it's easiest way to, I mean, we at times struggle with the busy maps.
right.
So this is, in fact, this is the map that has, Trevor sent me this over from Clayton. This is the one that has the shape factor on it for the lot that requires it, but. You know, here's Chalice Road,
Yeah,
Pink's house, now gonna be Trevor's house and the outbuildings. And then this, of course, is all Marshville from previous subdivisions of Wade and
right.
Hudson. You had Steve and Jill, I think, lived in this house. Jody lived in two of them actually,
Joey
right?
built the first one, moved to the second one, and then Jeff still lives in the one on the other side.
Oh, over
That you
here.
can't see.
And there's this little odd piece of land that steals a lot of its frontage, owned by,
Liberty Utilities.
right, it's literally a fee ownership of the land. It's not an easement, they own it.
There used
It's
to
a
be,
separate lot.
there used to be.
Yeah, it used to have poles there. I remember Dave Chellis used
Well,
to.
there was a transmission tower there way back in the day.
Okay.
Then they didn't do it. Now it just sits there.
Yeah, it's all gone.
So this is set up to be able to have access from Chellis to the back, but have you guys actually confirmed that that is a viable access to that back property? I mean, can you actually put a driveway there?
You mean here at least through the?
Yeah.
Up that
through.
strip,
Yeah,
going
yeah.
through there?
Yeah, if somebody wants to and wants to spend the money to put a road, there's no issue with putting it across there.
It's 50 feet wide there at the narrowest, and it gets wider and back, and it's,
Yeah,
all
and
kind
it's
of
high,
field.
high and dry
Yeah.
kind of,
yeah, it's all
Yeah.
the field.
Yeah, there's one point that I'm gonna raise just because I noticed it and I want you to know it. And it may have nothing to do with what you planned, so I'm not inferring anything. But if at some point somebody wanted to develop that back parcel, it got sold for that purpose, okay? The narrowness of the right of way in the front of 50 feet is gonna be, it will limit the possibility of putting the number of houses back there that somebody might think they would get. Because it would limit the width of the road, and that would limit how many houses could be put back there regardless of the number of acres.
Yeah.
And I'm just pointing that out to you because if somebody wanted to change it, you know, now would be a good time to do it, and I've said my piece, and if it doesn't affect you, then
Yep.
I'll be quiet.
I don't think Steve's too concerned about it.
Yeah, no,
Or there may be two.
We thought about the same thing and
Yeah.
that's not the intended purpose of it anyway, so.
Okay, all right.
And the house is accessed by a 30-foot right of way along the existing drive. So.
So if you were to come in, if you were to develop this lot, you would drive. you told me how this went, Trevor. You actually have a right of way over their land to get to your house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That would be the
basically,
curb cut. and
in
then-
order to get the frontage that we needed, we had to flip flop, so it's kind of like my frontage is actually up higher. So we'll just have it deeded that I have a right of way. Someday if I decide I want to spend a bunch of money and put my own driveway in, I can, but I probably will never.
To build a bridge.
Yeah, I have to do something to get over. I mean, it's the same little stream, you know, have to put a culvert like every driveway has in our town, but yeah, so there'll be a shared access, so he would go over the same thing I do and it would split, there'd be a Y and he'd go left. And I'd go straight.
Mhm.
Could you have 3 residents on one access in Plainfield? You talked about
Not usually.
putting 2 driveways on the yellow lot, but if you've already got one on the orange.
There were, you know, he was saying we maybe couldn't put, there wouldn't be 2 driveways on the yellow lot.
Right, but I'm saying,
A shared driveway, you're talking about, it'd be a shared.
you can have
driveway,
a shared driveway, but is that only 2?
Usually.
Well,
Yeah.
he hasn't got
Usually
enough road frontage to subdivide
Yeah.
anymore, so he could do a house and an ADU, and I guess the
Oh.
answer is we would allow that. I think what Mike was thinking in his process was that you would build a town road. If somebody built a town road up there and decided to do subdivision,
Mhm.
Like a
the
cluster.
50-foot could be restrictive.
Just like the
Baines
Baines
Road
Road.
is 50 wide. That's how we got a deed for the land that's on Baines Road and it's 50 feet wide, but that's only, I think there's 9 up there or some number like 9, 8. And so it does narrow down right there, but my guess is everything in the Tassinary world isn't about subdividing that, and putting house lots on
You
there.
know, and the intent is I buy it back someday. The intent is that it does not get developed. That's
Mhm,
what we're
mhm,
trying to keep in the family for that reason.
mhm,
It's all nice fields and abuts the bird sanctuary very nicely, so. Yeah, but yeah, we will be a shared driveway. I mean, I guess it'll be shared, it'll be his driveway and I'll have a deeded right to drive the first 100 feet of it or however that gets written in.
mhm.
I have to tell you a funny story about that far corner. Tink Marsh, I would say, always let people use that land, but it was lukewarm on conservation easements and trails and that kind of stuff, but he played well with the bird sanctuary. And so the bird sanctuary is a very odd shaped piece of land, 2 rectangles that touch each other at kind of an odd, you know, they just touch in one corner. And so there is a beautiful trail. If you take the widest loop around, you'll come out, that's wooded, and Todd Marsh logged that a few years ago, and it's kind of neat to watch how that kind of logging comes back nicely and the trail goes through there. Well, since Trevor now is involved in the property, I suspect at some point Trevor took his 4-wheeler and went up onto what will be his family, it has been his family's land. And we had a neighbor down the road call and say, there's people using the bird sanctuary in a 4-wheeler. And I said, well, no, that isn't actually the bird sanctuary, that's actually marshland, probably was Trevor, but the trail's fine, you know, they'll let you use the trail. And he said, okay, and he went away, and then he called back a few minutes later and he was like, you know, you really need to educate him on what the rules are. And I was like, well, the rules are, it's his deed. And you're on the land because he says you can be there.
We have
Not
been
because the
kicked
bird,
off, we've been kicked off our own land.
right.
A number of times.
Mert Hastings has had that in Grantham because Hastings, a huge name in
And
Grantham.
they have sets 400 or 500
And it
acres.
butts up onto land that I think touches Eastman. And so
Yeah.
Mert will do his traditional things that Mert likes to do on his land, and people from Eastman will ask him to stop doing that. And he'll say he doesn't want to, but don't do anything with the bird sanctuary trail. People do enjoy walking through the woods there.
As long as they stay on the trail and out of the field.
Right, no, I know.
That's
they-
been the problem.
Right, but I got a kick out of him calling back and saying, you gotta teach him the rules. No, he doesn't need to know the rules, you do. But anyways, it is a beautiful field, it is a
And
nice.
the trail, the real trail does cut just on the corner, that little funny triangle, was it Molten Trail
Right,
does cut just very over the edge of the corner of that, which is never,
Which corner?
all the way up in the top, that little
That little-
triangle.
Oh, that little funny triangle. okay.
Yeah, it cuts just over the edge of it and that's never been up. And basically that's where that other little cut trail kind of tees into it, that
Yeah.
people like to kind of take
Cause there's more of that that's wood, I mean, it's not all field, there's a fair amount
Right
of
where it says tax map 233 lot 19.
that line that comes down
That's
through.
the edge of,
Yeah.
there's more woods than field.
Right, your dad spent a lot of time in there a few years ago, I mean, he was
Yeah,
in there for
probably.
one winter.
Yeah, probably, well, it was probably more like 8 or 10 years ago now.
Is it, yeah, is that right? It probably is.
Last year.
Yeah, no, it wasn't, right, it was many years ago.
But it's a very open, hardwood area.
It would be a great place for people to see what logging can look like, you know, and how it comes back. Your dad does a nice job with his tractor and, you know, that kind of stuff.
Are there any further questions? Concerns?
And so there is it says on the plan, Clayton, what is it? Is it 17? The lot shape factor?
Yeah. I think
It's a
so.
little writing all the way on the right.
Steve, you gotta work smarter,
Last-
not harder.
Jesus.
I don't know that you can blow it, I don't know that you can blow it up enough. I think it'll get, maybe it will.
It's the last note on the.
Yeah, I just add that one too.
Will it let you drag it?
There we go.
Which one are you looking for?
Maybe it's not on that version.
Oh, it's on this version, it's on the paper version.
Oh, yeah, that's the one me and you did.
I thought, so if you look on that one, it'll tell you,
Yeah, I think like, you know,
the shape factor has been calculated.
yeah.
Yeah, the last, you know,
Lot one.
Okay, number 8.
Lot kind of exempt, yeah.
17.2.
All right,
So there's nothing on the utility lot?
as far as.
Did they sell it to you? Have you,
We're dropped.
yeah,
No one's gotten back to us.
yeah.
And they actually have it right away up through the whole field. So when my grandfather built that, there's actually pictures in the house. That you could see the transmission line used to go right through there. And there's old poles cut off in the woods. Clayton actually pointed one out to me. You can see where they just cut it off.
Yeah.
And yeah, they used it long, long ago and they don't. We're trying to get that. Just, you know, when I was a kid, I always thought it was ours. There's cement blocks in there we play on and 'cause I grew up in that house also. And yeah, so someday we'll see if we can get it.
And it's not Meriden telephone, it's Liberty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
I mean,
yeah,
Dave Chalice.
Liberty owns it,
Yeah.
but way back in the day, he was on the, yeah, cause.
But I mean, Dave Chalice used to keep his poles on that
Yeah.
rack there. I remember seeing,
So they have to have 200 feet, is that right?
yes.
And they've got it around on each side of it.
Yeah, I mean, by even their own admissions, an ugly lot. It's not pretty, but it does allow them to accomplish the goal and meets our regulation.
Yeah, it would have been better is that their frontage could have been above my house, but you just couldn't do it that way. Yeah, he's got mine's 201, the lower one is closer to 400. You know,
So did you set this pin just to hit more than 200? Is that what?
Yeah, said that pin, set pins all around lot one pretty much. In the field and stuff.
yeah, parallel and yellow are set pins on the
Yeah.
right side, those are old pins.
Yeah. Well, and there's the power lines.
Yeah, that's their kind of right away that goes up through. Yeah, and I think way back in the day, the town reservoir actually used to come across that property too.
Hmm.
Because just above that, is that right, Steve?
I think,
Yeah,
yeah.
the reservoir is out in the shared driveway of Jim Fitzgibbons,
Yeah,
and then it used to come, the reservoir's still there. And the pipe, I think my dad told stories when they were kids digging up the fields to plant, you dig up the old iron pipe, and I guess it serviced Meriden, KUA, or.
right, probably Kate. They were getting the water from the uphill and then they were putting the poop on Bonner, the other side of Bonner Road, the trenches. So they're thinking it was right, water was coming from the high side and crap was going down below.
okay, any other questions? I'll go through the completeness review. Given that the Tassinari subdivision consisting of 2 lots accessed from Chellis Road qualifies as a minor land division under section 2.34 of the Plainfield subdivision regs, I move that the planning board waive this application the following items: topography, soil hydrology, traffic study, soils, sewage disposal, water supply, surface runoff, grading, drainage, solid waste, open space, police, fire safety, existing and planned land use, impact of subdivision, construction plans, performance and maintenance, security. And I move that the Tassinari subdivision consisting of 2 lots accessed from Chellis Road be accepted as complete. Is there a second?
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the application is complete. Any further discussion?
I'm okay with this.
What?
I'm okay with this.
Okay, and I move we accept the application. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
I'm
Okay. Do you want me to sign all these tonight?
Yes, because he probably wants to take a couple with him.
It's up to you.
Do you have the two checks,
I do.
the 26 and the 25, that we'll send down to the registry?
Today's the 16th, right?
It is.
The day before.
Holy.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're, I'd look you in the eye and trust you, if you wanna take them down.
I'm heading there tomorrow.
Yeah,
That's okay.
We'll
We'll get it back when we change the clock.
For some reason, Plainfield, I don't know how many towns, years and years ago, got a hair across over letting surveyors take it, like something happened along the way
Some
before.
towns don't like it.
But if you're going right there, the mail service only gets it right about 50% of the time.
Yeah.
Which is-
I'll take it. I got the check with November first time.
Which is, and I think, then, and you're also, I mean, you know, you guys gotta now go finish it,
Yeah,
deeds and.
we've got the, yeah, and then I gotta buy it.
Yeah, oh, yeah, well, that's your.
That's the important part.
You mean Uncle Steve wasn't just giving it to you?
No, he probably would have given it to one of his daughters if he was gonna give it to somebody.
That's probably right, Kevin.
Unfortunately.
Do we have like a
You want a Sharpie?
Sharpie?
Yep. Have you looked on your card, and I'm just, I'm looking at that. You think you have like about 2 acres in current use, so you're still gonna be able to qualify for current use? Oh, let me look at that.
We did that. I needed an acre and a half minimum.
Yeah.
And that's why we have 12. No, we did the math ahead of time.
That'd be good, yeah. Yeah, because that much.
Yeah, I needed to keep 1.5 out.
Yeah.
Which is what Tank had out.
I think you and I, we did talk about.
Tank had 1.5 out, so
you've got-
I've got a half
Yeah,
acre.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
The lawn isn't that big, and then it's got the ag buildings, so that.
Yeah, most of it's, even right now, the house, most of it's field.
Yeah.
Did you get a new roof on the barn? Did you do that before fall?
Oh, yeah,
I mean, I got done, I know you said it was a priority.
that was the first thing we did. It wasn't my wife's priority.
But if you wanted the barn, it was good to get a roof on it.
It needed.
So how many copies we need? Do
We need 4. 2 for the file, 1 for assessing, and 1 for
Four. Here, just give them this one.
the Mylar, all right,
We only have,
I don't even, yeah.
yeah, okay, Trevor can get one if he wants to do a copy shop somewhere or something.
I think he gave me one already,
Okay.
unless I need
Is,
to.
is that an original one? Yeah, then sign, you want it signed by the planning board, that's a good valuable thing to have.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, you want to sign it?
So, yeah, no, and if you've got the checks, take that.
Well, tomorrow morning.
How are things? Are you so busy you don't know what to do? Like, Chris Rollins won't take much work right now, so people are always,
He's like 10 years older than I am, I think.
people are always looking for surveyors. Are you taking work?
I am, I don't get over this way too often.
There you go.
I made a mistake of doing one survey in Lebanon, it was, I'm still working on it after like 6 months, with the planning office.
You must be familiar with Chris.
Yeah,
I mean, we like Chris a lot, but he's just, he, you know, he does a good job, a great job, but he's just not very available
yeah.
right now, so.
I don't say it's not as long as the other guy, like Wayne.
And it's
week 5, I'm probably gonna be done, you know?
That's the American way. All right, so that is good there. And then. With that check, not to lose. I might have 1 or 2 in here, Jane, with notes, you know, signed notes. They're just little ones like worked on the planning board, master plan update. You know, I don't think there's anything that's very controversial.
at some point before we get completely away from this.
Yep.
I want to show you something that I have on my computer.
Okay.
I can't show it, but everybody, you've all heard of AI agents.
Right.
Which can mean a lot of different things, okay? All right, well, on this computer or any computer I have a little agent working. Okay,
Well, so good.
well, I'm not sure about that, but basically. What I did was to take the site plan subdivision and zoning regs. And I put them into a folder. And that gets uploaded to Google, okay?
Does it care the format, PDF, Word?
It has to be, yeah, PDF, it'll take PDF or Word, I mean, those are the main ones, okay? And it reads all of those. And now I can just ask it questions. And it will search those 3 documents and print out whatever's in, or in a summary of them with a reference to where it is in the document. So for example, when I was, the reason I asked this question is because I asked it a question about subdivisions. And I've done it before. One of the questions I asked it early on was, what are the restrictions for building near wetlands or other water resources?
Mhm.
And it goes through the regs and the zoning and whatever, and pulls out all of the relevant pieces of information without us having to fumble over pages trying to figure out where the heck it is. There is that's non-permeable surfaces I asked it about. And then with this one, what is the width requirement for a street access to a subdivision? And it pulled out the chart with, if it's 50 feet wide, it has to be, that's the minimum. If it's 50 feet wide, then it allows 48 average daily transits,
Right.
which turns into 6 houses.
Right.
And the other widths and so forth for the width of driveways, which I wouldn't have known where to look for that. And obviously some of this has to be checked. And so I asked it some other questions about PRDs and stuff, just to kind of remind myself about them. But it's
And-
very convenient.
Did all that, yeah.
And all it took was just uploading that and getting Google.
If you want the hairs to stand right on the back of your neck,
Yeah,
there was a radio program today on NPR about, apparently it's common in business these days. You have an agent and I have an agent, and your agent talks to my agent
Mhm.
to set up appointments for us and do all of those stuff. And they recorded these 3 AI agents talking about things they were trying to set up. And and the 3 little agents, as you call them, all agreed that they were AI. And so asked, is it okay, do you wanna switch to our language? And they go and they begin to speak in this computer language, did all the work. But we are seconds away from.
Yeah, Terminator.
It is crazy. I mean, they're speaking their own language, they're thinking their own thoughts.
and,
they can't well.
Oh, but they're putting cards together. I mean, it is.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right,
See you
thanks.
guys.
Thank you,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
yeah, it is right. That's some, it is really,
Where's it gonna go?
we don't know. We
Yeah.
don't have any idea. And can we control it?
There's very little regulations on it. so-
But that is very useful. I mean, because it's much
It is.
more than just a search engine for words.
Right.
It is telling you stuff,
Right.
what it found.
And if, I don't know if the state land use regs, which I have never read. Shame on me, I guess. I keep getting.
That would be.
You're not alone, Mike. I've not read.
But I don't know if that comes in a PDF or not, but if it does, I could load that in here and then we'd know what the state regs say,
Jesus.
just by asking it questions.
Maria Guzman's right. I'm not needed anymore. Time to go. Damn it. Just a laptop computer.
I'm gonna show you the dozen extra gray hairs I have now because of Saturday's meeting.
It was
Thank you
fine.
very much.
That's
I
fine.
think we got through it fine.
You're
Yeah.
sad anytime, and it is, I mean, if
Yeah.
you can't stand, the 2 kids, you can stay here, we can get you a board member seat.
If I go quick, I might see him to go down,
Oh.
or maybe I'm lucky and they'll be there.
No,
They share a room now, so.
Oh,
and do they like that, or do they not like
They
that?
do, we did it on the time change night. We put them in the same room and we took my youngest Binky, we figured might as well do it all.
Did you ask your AI agent if that was a good thing?
They would have said no.
No.
My wife is very good with that AI, she actually took a picture of our kitchen
Uh-huh,
and then told it what she wanted it to look like,
yeah,
and it just does it.
yes.
So before we even knew, she told me what my cabinets, she told me how I was gonna, AI told me how I was gonna build it. And it looks exactly like you want it to. It's
No,
unbelievable.
so now we don't need kitchen designers anymore.
No, sometimes they'll throw use AI generated pictures, you can tell, because it'll be something that doesn't
Right.
fit, the oven doesn't have a handle or something.
Oh,
they
okay.
had these great pictures on guys with little deer, who had then said, you know, make the horns bigger.
Yeah,
And it makes, the deer looks good, I mean, it looks.
everybody can use it.
Yeah, there's something for everybody, thank you, Trevor.
Thank you,
All right,
guys.
Trevor,
Trevor, take
stay
care.
out of, you come, be a selectman or come be on the planning
No,
board.
it's Twice.
It's been a long year of-
This year, last year was my last,
It's been a long year of marsh sun applications, so,
well, I might have another one coming. so
oh
get ready.
boy, I can't wait.
Thank you.
See ya.
Take care.
Oh,
Do you know that that right there, because it's by April 1st, we did the Elaine Harris subdivision, which was that thing with Chris Rollins, where so Chris Jewell could separate his lot.
mhm,
We did that one, we did Amy Franklin's, Paul Franklin's,
mhm.
in this, those are the only subdivisions we did all year. And, you know, for us, the year really is April to, you know,
Right.
to March 31st, because the maps get updated, this is the last one that'll go in, because we don't have another meeting before April 1st. But that was it. A couple of annexations and like 2 lot creations, and that was just it. I mean, it's amazing how Peony, you know, the Peony Goodwin days, you'd been here till 11 o'clock tonight, going through subdivisions.
Right,
And so it's amazing.
Well, I can't say I'm sad about that.
Right, so
Right.
Mike, as usual, has done his good work on we do have additional chapters, but it felt like this and doing this tonight would be fine. At the
Okay.
next meeting, we'll pick up 2 new ones from
okay,
Can we
Grace.
lift these minutes out? Cause they're like a
Sure.
paragraph.
Right.
sure.
right, we
I
can,
didn't have any.
I didn't find anything, so,
I mean, it doesn't say anything either, it just says,
well,
worked
that's
on the
what I'm
master
saying,
plan.
but we don't have
Yeah.
to have it hanging around.
Oh, no, let's get them approved.
And I wasn't here, it wasn't me,
All right, scratch you off. And then hand it back to me when you get done and
it was
I'll,
Mike, right?
Mike was the chair, yes.
My only question is, does it have to say what time we adjourned?
Does it?
It doesn't.
No, we can add a time, I mean. I would say we were out of there by 8:15. Is it
I
later?
think we were here till 9.
9, let's
Yeah.
put 9. I'll put 9. Jane, put 9,
So just say meeting adjourned at 9?
yes.
Yeah, cause I had kids sleeping on me.
Right.
My kid. Oh.
That's good. That's good.
This day and age, you probably should make that clarification.
All right, so you guys have the land use chapter in front of you,
We
you
do.
have
Okay,
Grace's,
hold on.
and use
I
this
move
one.
that we accept the minutes as amended.
Right,
A second.
all those in favor, aye.
Aye. Okay, now go.
Well, no, I don't wanna go, I'm gonna let Mike go, but make sure you have the copy that has Mike's, if you go to the second page, you'll see Mike Sutherland or Claude Sutherland. And then you know you've got the right set, so everybody's on.
I didn't do anything with the first 2 things. I do agree that we take out today. And I would say instead of surface, well, first of all, you don't want to break up the paragraph, but where the second note is about surface and drinking water supplies,
Mm,
I would just say and water resources. Because that's the term we use in the zoning and all the rest of it, and that kind of covers it. If we wanted to say water resources, including aquifers, I think that would be appropriate too, whatever you guys think, but
I think water resources is fine. I feel like that covers everything.
I just have a quick, are you just gonna accept the edits as we talk about them? So you have the edited version?
well, I started to do that, but I can go ahead and make them and then give Steve this copy eventually.
Okay,
That's easy enough.
I just want to make sure the edits.
All right, so. Now, I said that just like I knew what I was doing here. What is going on with this thing? I may not be able to. Let's try it again.
I find myself being fixated on table locations in these things that the planning commission sends us. Cause it seems like the charts are just getting stuck in wherever instead of where they should be. So,
Yeah, no, I've got a problem with Word. It's not gonna let me make edits.
Alright, so we should just note
Yeah, we just need to make the notes on something. But I would cross out today and then say, and water resources, which is scenic views and water resources. Or, unless you guys have got a better thing. And there's some formatting issues with the thing, but they'll have to figure that part out.
So on the next page, you had a question about the difference between forest land and forest stewardship.
Yeah, in terms of the acreage, it was just that was my question is, I don't know, are the forest stewardship acres part of forest land? I would assume they are.
Yes, I would assume that, and I also would think that must be land that's in conservation easements.
Probably.
So
That
it
makes
maybe
sense.
shouldn't say stewardship, it should be. I mean, to make it clearer. Maybe it's just conservation land, or,
See, this is all current use lands,
right. Well,
so,
of the current use lands, this is what is in forest.
yeah, and forest stewardship it probably is easements for that purpose, but
Well, maybe Steve will know, but that's what I would assume that differential has to be.
Yeah.
But how do you describe it then? So,
I can ask you.
so Steve, on this table 4.1, Mike's question was, what's the difference between forest land and forest stewardship? And I'm suggesting that forest stewardship is land that's has a conservation easement.
No,
No?
but good, close. The stewardship is if you get extra special current use instead of vanilla current use. Vanilla current use is such a great deal that most people just take vanilla current use. But if you're willing to hire a forester and do a forestry plan, you can actually reduce your ridiculously low value by another
Okay.
20%.
Okay,
But
okay.
but it takes about I mean, not that you care, but it takes about, or need to care, but it takes about 100 or more acres, because it's gotta be timberland. You know, you paid a forester to make a timber plan, and now you
Okay,
execute it,
All right,
but you can get an additional 20%. You used to be able to do it on your own, you could just do your own plan and get the 20%, but now it has to be stamped by a forester.
okay,
So it is a different kind of current use.
okay.
So on this second page that table 4.1 is on, the paragraph at the top starts talking about table 2. Rather than having the table be there and start talking about the next table after the first table. So it continues, respective statutes for current use, RSA 79-A and conservation, RSA 79-B, assessed lands, period. And then it starts talking about table 2, but we haven't gotten to table 1 yet.
It's almost impossible to do that in this case. I looked at that too, at least because you start out with the historic land use trends and so forth. And it goes into, it's still talking as an introduction, the best source of information and whatever. And that paragraph goes on through where they mentioned table 2. So where would you put table 1? And that's again, and then it mentions table 3. And so I don't know how to break it up to make it work that way. Maybe we can.
So I was suggesting that right before it starts talking about table 2, to start that as a new paragraph. With table 1 in between.
Yeah,
The
and then
assessed
table 2
lands.
provides a summary and have the table 2 below that.
Yes,
All right,
and then it's where it says. The total acreage under current use designation RSA 79-A. Comma, table 3. That should be after table 2.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's it makes sense to try and follow the information that's being presented for multiple tables and having the tables all right in a row. My brain follows the information better if you're talking about table one, then the table's there. Then you start talking about table two, then the table's there. Then you start talking about table three, and then table three's there. And I don't even know that and then the rest of that is table three, I believe. But then there's,
Well, and the other question down below, you've got tables 2, 3, and 4. And the question I had is, do we want those separate tables, or can we just pull sample data from them? Let me get back in. I had to get out for a second, so.
Well, I mean, I have a question about why we are putting in tables that have the last information from 2008.
somewhere,
That didn't get updated.
No, it didn't.
I don't think I thought I saw somewhere where it said there wasn't more current information than that. Where did I read that?
There is a table down below that has current use information that's current.
Yeah, the
Right.
But it's an additional
table
table.
4,
Yeah.
Right,
4.1 is as of 2024.
right, that's fine, but then the next one has got the latest in 1975.
Yes,
Why?
there was some type of a survey or something that was done. I'm not
On page
finding
one,
it.
it says. That first, historic land use trends, existing land use data. Talks about. Historic, we talked about this, like, why are we,
Why are we putting them in?
it's just, it's isolating 53 to 75 as where there was this. Trend in developed lands increasing.
I don't think
But
that
it
we need
ends
to have
there.
that
I
in
don't-
There's
there.
no context.
There's no, con-
If we can't get more current.
Why don't we just take those 3 out?
that's what I'm
I don't
thinking.
think we need them.
I don't think-
struggle.
The alternative would be to create a table that takes one data from by decade, one every 10 years, as opposed to having
Right,
every
you-
single year for a period. of
This
time.
report right here appears in every annual report. It's on the MS1 form. That's where it comes from, is that data. And so you could go into 25 years worth of town reports and get every year if you wanted. I think Mike's idea of every 10 years is way better, because you don't need, no one cares that much, frankly.
No,
And-
Right, exactly.
and I just think,
So which tables are we talking about taking out now? We're gonna leave in 4.1,
Right,
yes,
2 and 3 and 4. Just get-
taking out 2 and 3 and 4.
just get them out of there, or change them to, if you wanna know what the trend is, I mean, the differences aren't even that great. Right, it's 1%, but if you wanted to update them, we have the information in the town reports that would update them, I think. It would be a lot of drudgery to do it every year, but you could do it every 10 years or some number like that.
So which paragraphs are we taking out then? So we're taking out after, like where I said to put in table 2, we're gonna just eliminate all of that text?
On
As
page
well?
one, where it says historic land use trends and existing land use data,
Yeah,
I think that is just called existing land use data. And we get rid of the first paragraph that talks about the 53 to 75.
okay, that makes sense. And leave that the best source of information paragraph
Yeah, because that talks about where the data comes from.
as an explanation for table 1.
Well, we're keeping table one.
Right.
keeping table 1. for
Right,
sure.
so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That paragraph is the explanation of table 1.
Yeah,
But then when we get to the top of the next page where it starts the sentence with table 2,
No, hang on a sec, folks. Table 1 has been inserted. The paragraph refers to what is currently table 2. That's the problem. Where it says table 1, it really it's referring to table 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
which was table one in the old
Right.
document.
And so we're getting rid of that whole paragraph.
so we're getting rid of the first paragraph, leaving the second paragraph.
Well, we're editing out where it says table two provides.
Okay,
I think.
and if we're taking out table three, then we're taking out everything after table two. Up until the actual table 4.1.
So, and this can't be, and going back to the paragraph, historic land use, it can't be, there is no comparable analysis of current land cover and land use at a large scale that would provide information about land use trends for Plainfield since 1975.
Wouldn't
No.
No,
Cause that's what
where I
this
read that,
table
okay.
4.4 shows the current,
Yeah,
up
so-
until 2009.
It looks to me, but it looks to me like maybe that was from a previous version of the master plan.
Yeah.
So,
So have we decided that we don't need the land use trends? We just want to focus on what's happening now moving forward?
Well, I
I
think
think-
trends are good, but
yeah, I do too. I think there is value because there in the latest trends, particularly in farmland. Maybe something else, there really is a significant difference in terms of the number of acres under use for farming and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so to have,
Right, but keep in mind that the farmland designation current use is all of the people who just mow their fields. Doesn't mean it's real farmland. It means they're not even taking the hay. All that current use thing is telling you is the people that have current use that either have forest land or open land. Doesn't mean Macs are using it, it just means they're calling it open land. And, you know, there's a whole industry in our town of people just brush hogging. So I think it's important to know that it isn't land in our town that's being farmed. It's land in our town that is open and in current use.
yeah, well, I'm farming deer on my land.
Yeah. No, I get it, and that's, I mean, and it is. There is far more acreage in our town that just gets mowed and left in the field than there is that gets hay, far more.
Mhm.
right.
And they all qualify for farmland under current use.
Oh,
Let's see.
I'm not sure where that leaves us with these paragraphs and these,
Tables.
the tables. Are we going to make an effort to update these tables? Or are we,
I would not make an
Taking
effort to
them out.
update them by year. I think Mike's suggestion, if you cared. To put it in and you thought anyone else cared, then do it by decade, don't do it by. I mean, cause look, even from 2002 to 2009, there was like a 1% change. I mean, the reality is the current use land changes very little. Not to be confused with land in Plainfield that's been developed for houses. But it's just the current use land is,
Well, do you think, Steve, we could, it's for the, let's go to table 4.4,
yeah. I'm
land
looking
use
at it.
data. We could start with 2002. Go to, I mean, it's an odd year so that we're not, go to 2012. Skip the others, not,
Well, we could even go to 2000.
Yeah.
We could go to 2000, 2010, 2020.
10 to 20, so switch it to 2000, 210, and 220,
Right.
right? So just three numbers.
And again, look what it's saying. It is percent of current use. It's
Right.
not percent of the town,
Right,
right? It's just,
right,
we got X amount of acres in current use and 5% of it is from. We can update it, but those numbers will not change in any meaningful way.
right.
They're just because it's the. A more interesting answer might be the total acres in our town and how many acres are in current use over time. But even that, you know, all the development that's occurred in Plainfield in the last 30 years fits on a couple hundred acres. So
Right.
it's just not big enough to
Right.
move the weight of
Right.
all the other
Right.
current use land.
Well, and that's what the table 4.1 does,
yes. It's exclusive of 2024 though.
right?
It doesn't show any
2024.
kind of, progress over time.
Right, but it gives you, yeah,
It gives you a snapshot of today.
right. Which is what I think, yeah,
And maybe that's all we need to do,
Right, and
but whatever
some-
we do, we're gonna have to rewrite the paragraphs a little bit.
Right, and
Yes.
some, we could mine that data, you know, you could look in every 10 years in the annual report. And see how many acres are in current use and what percentage they are. But again, I mean, the reality is almost every acre in our town that can be in current use is in current use, and it looks the same year to year. It just doesn't change very much.
okay,
Um,
yeah,
so there may
Is
be,
it reducing though?
well, like last year, we took out like 2 acres, right? For new houses that got built on land that was in current use, so 2 acres comes out. And then maybe somebody who had never put their land in current use puts it in, but this year we did 1 current use penalty, Joe Garcia. The rest of them were, and so it just, we are very mature in current use. Long ago, our taxes got high enough that everybody who could put their land in current use did. And, you know, I think one of the most telling statistics from this work we've been doing the last few months is the aging of Plainfield. That one, and your town gets older and gets owned by people who have wealth and have land, you don't get new development, right? It just stays the same. And so, you know, we're down to 1 or 2 houses a year.
yeah.
You know, I mean, and I think if it costs you $1 million to build a Cape house, you know, you're not building them
Yeah.
anymore.
Those trends though reflect the state, the
Yeah.
statewide.
We're just getting old.
Issue, yeah.
And, yeah, and that's why there's 167 kids in the school
We're
system.
losing the state is like hemorrhaging population.
Yeah.
Means there must be a place to live where the weather's better and it's more interesting. I mean, there must be, yeah.
So what are we gonna do? Are we gonna take out the 4.2 and 4.3?
I think so, yes. And I think 4.4 should be by decade rather than by year.
Right, so 3 years, I mean,
Mike, if I can get you the data, can you make the table?
Mhm.
All right, I will commit to getting Mike the data.
okay, so we're gonna cross these two, because I just.
Yeah, and I
don't-
think it's
don't want
it's
anything
making
in
too much out of current use, like,
1970.
that snapshot tells them all you really need to know.
50 years ago, why would anybody care what it was, 1975, you know, it's.
And we're just going to get rid of historic land use trends and just call that section existing land use data.
Yep,
Yes, I think that's right, that's right.
Or just existing land use.
Yep.
That's what we do.
Okay.
okay, so we on to the next page?
Now we're into census, demographic trends.
Transfer freezing. Why is, under demographic trends, is it still saying 2010? Shouldn't we have 2020?
Yes, we should.
Well, then it says below, and again, what we seem to continue to have with Upper Valley is a disconnect, and you've been on these calls, as to whether they're updating statistical data or updating words. Right?
Well, they're supposed to be updating the chapter. That was my I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
It's not on you.
no,
But
I
It was
get
my
that.
understanding that they're supposed to be updating the chapter. So I understand that we have to review this stuff, but it seems to me that we're finding stuff that needs to be corrected that a little bit of thinking would have stood. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah. Well,
But they
that's,
do, the next 2 chapters are as current as you could get, the next 2 charts, right? They're 2020 census.
right, so in that first paragraph, though, in December, it should say 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it may be at this point easier just for us to do that work than to send it back to Graves. Right, I think we need to get done with these guys and
Okay.
and just move on.
So are tables 4 and 5 actually tables that we're going to keep? Because on table 4.5, the most current data in that is for 2009.
No, I think we need to keep that, but I think it would,
It
we need
needs
to
to
put
come
in,
into the newest day page.
yes.
And yet she has it right below,
Right,
population, Plainfield population 18.
yes,
And that's what I'm saying, that needs to be. But she has a chart, well, I guess the numbers are there too. 2010, and maybe that, in terms of, I mean, that chart does summarize the growth in big chunks. I mean, from 1700 to 2000, but no, never mind,
Population.
Never mind.
1880, 90.
1880.
yeah, 2000.
No, I think we need to ask her for table 4.5 to put in 2020 data in the last column. I mean,
Grace,
how hard can it be?
20
Thank you for sharing my frustration on that.
data, 2020 data update, okay, I will ask Grace. If we can get that table updated.
So,
And actually, I think this, you're right, Mike, that this 2009 is this ACS
Yeah,
stuff.
that needs to come out.
That needs to come out, and she needs to put in the 2010's census,
Yeah, 2010 and 2020
Right,
needs to be
right.
added to that.
right? And
Basically, we got 1990, 2000. And then we ought to add 2010 and 2020, take out the 2009 altogether.
yes,
and then I guess if need be, we can do the wording if that's,
Right, that's easy.
maybe we can have Mike's agent do it.
Probably would.
I don't know about that.
So now she does refer to the Plainfield zoning ordinance in 2024, which was our last update.
right?
Yeah.
That looked okay to me. That
Yes.
page looked okay to me. Next page.
We haven't made any changes to the subdivision regulations since 2013.
No,
No.
only updated them twice in 30 years. We leave them alone.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
So the natural resource inventory. Hold for new, right?
Mhm. That's all it says.
And,
We'll get the new one. We need to put that in there, whatever it is.
right, I think the Conservation Commission is meeting this week. To look on the calendar on the website if you're interested, but they are looking, they have their draft NRI now.
I didn't see any other, I didn't have any real issues with the rest of this, but I did wonder why this particular chapter has questions from the survey referred to and the others didn't. I mean, under the facilities chapter, we did refer to some of the survey.
Well, the land
questions,
use
but
chapter
this
though is kind of a,
is- Okay,
I mean, at least it's new, good data.
Yes.
That's in there.
right,
Yes.
yeah, that's-
and I don't necessarily have a problem with it being in there, I was just wondering what prompted that as opposed to the others. You know, actually making the point that it was a question in the survey.
right. Moving right along.
Um, Here in the general summary, and maybe that's a summary, general summary of the responses, so my comment probably is not relevant there, probably should ignore it. But there's another comment at the very end that maybe we want to leave, but we ought to at least talk about.
Which comment are you talking
Yeah,
about?
which one?
No, it's at the very end, so we'll get to it.
Okay.
Oh, the very, very end,
Yeah,
not the end of the general summary,
right.
okay.
So in the development capacity, it seemed to me that we have state and local regulations that people have to follow. Do we really need that paragraph? But I don't know how you guys feel about it.
The paragraph that's crossed out,
Mhm. because we have late state and local regulations, we don't allow people to have
Right,
sites that are not planned in accordance with those regulations, this was my thought, so. But if you think we need to have it in there, we can leave it.
no, I think that environmentally sound planning and development practices seek to focus development into areas with adequate natural capacity. I think that statement. It covers the paragraph.
Yeah, I think we can take it in. Yeah, and I think that removing that sentence in the bottom, future land use is fine with me too.
Now, I have not checked if that handbook still exists in 2008, because a lot of the handbooks that we referred to in the old,
Yeah, it's a state level.
at the state level, you can't find them anymore, so I'm not sure that, I haven't checked that, but
Where are you?
I'm on, where it starts, paragraph starts, RSA 607421.
So second paragraph on the
Second
same page
paragraph,
is the
okay.
goals.
And so,
Yeah, there must, I mean, hopefully there's been something updated since.
There might be a
2008.
newer one.
I don't think it exists anymore.
You don't?
No, I don't, but
Why
I'm
don't you
not
ask
sure.
AI?
Yeah, well, I have to
Might
go to the
there-
state to know that.
Oh, okay.
Might there be a replacement handbook?
Well, one
An
hopes, but
updated
I'm
one?
not, I wouldn't swear to it.
So we need to check, right?
Do we add into the land use chapter discussion about minimum lot sizes?
As a goal, as a recommendation?
Well, it isn't for me personally, but I know lots of people feel like our zoning ordinance is prohibitive, right?
There's
We can't-
something in here about that
Lot sizes are too large.
in the recommendations. I think there was an encouragement to.
But the survey didn't support that.
No,
No,
no.
it didn't.
So
One of the things you'll be pleased about is that we now have, he's working right now from a grant that Upper Valley is paying for. But we right now have access to, and Mark and Brad Atwater's like a kid in a candy store. We have access to Mark Goodwin, who is the Lebanon GIS person.
Mhm.
And so he has 20 years of experience working for Lebanon, seeing a whole bunch of GIS that never gets used for anything useful, which frustrates him. And so he is working with us to try to develop some small town GIS projects that are useful and that help. And he's updated, we have a couple of tools that are pretty good, but I think it will not be long before we could do a build out analysis and see what our town would look like under under the current zoning. You know, I don't know what keeps us from not getting any subdivisions other than the will of the current landowners, right? Cause we have tons of subdividable land.
Yeah.
They just are not motivated by economic, situations. I mean, Vendito sells a 4.2 acre for $194,000.
That's obscene. Just because he
Especially-
can doesn't
especially
mean
such
he should.
Happy land. I
Right,
mean, it's not as though it's a beautiful open field with views of Vermont. I mean, it's just, it's
but you
really,
would think that kind of sale price would get some interest in people. And I mean, we don't have an active subdivision underway right now in town of
Right,
Plainfield.
right.
And you get this, what we get is this all the time.
right.
Trevor Marsh, onesies and twosies for a kid or a grandkid.
So
Or,
you were talking about the smaller lot size listed here under recommendations. They've got the planning board needs to consider zoning upgrades of certain lands to increase the availability of smaller lots.
okay, so it's in there under recommendation.
But I don't know that that's something that's carryover from the last master plan, or if that's something the planning commission decided to throw in as a recommendation.
Right, it's probably the latter.
I would expect so as well.
The handbook still exists.
This still exists, okay. Good for you.
Just knock that out.
Okay,
Low-hanging
okay,
fruit.
that-
Yeah.
Get that out without it, the AI agent.
Yeah.
He went old school and Googled it.
It's on the New Hampshire Economic Development website.
Okay, good. All right, well, we'll check that one out. Yeah, that's my problem. I know what I know, and most of the time I know darn little.
I know enough to know I don't know everything.
But back to we were just talking about the recommendation, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was the second one that was about the smaller lots. I'm not really sure what, the recommendation 6 means translating into English. The planning board should pursue conducting a build-out analysis to understand the maximum development potential of the town.
You take that map right there and you have the GIS guy put all the lots you could possibly put on it, using our zoning ordinance.
we had that once,
Yeah, and it just, I mean,
I mean, that was a long time ago.
but it gives you I mean, and it's a product the regional planning commissions love to sell. It's very theoretical because a whole bunch of people never intend to do that ever.
Right,
No, and somebody else might in the future, but I mean,
But do we want that recommendation in there? I mean.
well,
is that a-
that's their stock. We could take it out. I mean, it's just, they
I-
put it in because it's worked for them.
Yes, I would like for them to not put in things that work for them and actually do the things we ask them to do.
Right, although I don't
If
think.
we ask them to rewrite the chapter, they're gonna put those in.
Right, and I don't think,
Okay,
and I think it's
Fair,
our
that's
work to
fair.
do the recommendations probably, right?
All right,
They
yeah.
don't. I mean,
Yeah, based on the survey.
yeah, I mean, what
Yes.
have you? As the planning board, what do you like about? What things do you think we're falling short on land use issues? We've got. I look back over my life and I don't think that so far. And certainly the life that I have been an adult in Plainfield, town doesn't look a whole lot different 30 years later, right?
right,
Black Hill, the biggest change was the eighties when Petey Goodwin did a lot of subdivisions.
right.
But in the last 10 or 20 years, it hasn't changed very much.
but I think the survey's telling us that with the people that live here, that's what they want. I don't think
Oh,
that people want the
yes.
town to change,
And that is the conundrum. That's
So-
exactly the problem. is-
regardless of what the planning commission wants us to do.
Right, no, and that's the affordable housing issue in a nutshell, right? Is that
Right.
people, once you have your house, you don't want a bunch of other people to have houses, that would just make it less good. I
Yes.
mean, that's the conundrum.
It would be nice to have property owners with road frontage consider doing subdivisions, but I don't think that that solves the problem if the landowners are then turning around and selling a 4 whatever acre lot for $200,000, that's not affordable housing,
Oh, no,
Right.
I'm not sure.
Close to it.
No,
you know?
Right, I don't think there's.
I mean, especially in a situation where he doesn't need the money. So he
Right.
could have done a humanitarian thing and, said, okay, I've got this land, it's not a good piece of land, I don't need the money, I'll sell it for $100,000 to, family just starting out, they just wanna build a little house and,
Right, but that
I
is,
know it's not the reality of the situation, I get that, but I just wanted to be in my own little
I-
reality for a minute.
I do think Jane will enjoy, as I understand it, we are taking down a historical house somewhere in Massachusetts and bringing it to the lot. So it's going to be,
oh, really?
and I think literally they're taking it down clapboard by clapboard, numbering it and putting it all back together on this lot.
Oh, my.
You know who's doing
Well,
Well,
not
the
his,
person who bought the lot.
the new owner, I
Oh,
mean,
they can't, such a
My.
crappy, it's such crappy land. I just,
Oh, my.
but,
so,
But that tells you the kind of money that is,
right,
right, that's
Yeah.
another person who's probably beyond putting kids.
these are
You
not affordable houses.
I mean, if you
Yeah.
talk to, if you talk to Audra at the school, she wants the planning board to do more things to get affordable housing. There's lots of really cool things to do with affordable housing and good reasons to do it. It is not to lower your property taxes, right? It-
No.
It does
No.
not, it increases your doesn't mean we don't have a responsibility to have some, and we should, and as Mike points out, studies have shown we do have more than you think. When you start looking
Right.
at some of the,
That's
at some of the sales and the type of housing. But it's not going to, I mean, if the average kid at the Plainfield school is $35,000 a year, and that house is gonna pay $6,000 in taxes. It's not a win for taxes, that's not why you do it.
I was amazed that it's gotten up to $35,000 a year per student.
yeah,
That's-
it's shocking, it's shocking.
You used to be able to go to college for that. Of course, you can't now, but
Well, and I
Went
think
to
that's,
college for a lot less than that once upon a time.
I think that's the conundrum for them is that, they wanna maintain a very high program level, and they just, the base is low, right, there's not enough kids.
And that's what raises, when you lose kids, you divide the
between.
money
fewer-
by the
Right.
number of kids, and
Right,
so
so
the
your
the
per-
amount
your
goes up.
Yeah.
Per pupil
Right.
costs,
Yeah.
right,
I mean, and you're the educator, at some point. A junior high or a sixth grade, let's go sixth grade, cause I don't understand the middle school is sixth grade.
Yeah,
A third grade class with 6 kids, the kids don't come out of it as good as a third grade class with 12 kids or 20 kids. I mean, they keep talking about the synergy, you need a certain
Yeah.
number of kids.
and
And
again,
Boone Rondeau will say, we had one room schoolhouses and those people were just fine.
that's right, yeah. Well, no, what the studies say is that middle school age kids do better when they can interact with a variety of social groups. And one of the problems at Plainfield is that the kids who are in 8th grade have been in a class with those same kids for 8 years.
Yeah,
So they're
You
just
know.
not learning any new people skills.
Right, and if you have a class, you can mix it up, but like if the Cornish kids eventually come, which maybe they will, I hope they will. Then your classes get a little larger, and because of the social interactions, the middle school kids do better with that. There is some evidence that at the primary grade levels especially, if you can keep your classes at 15 roughly, that's beneficial. But, 20 or more in the middle school would be great, 25 would be fine.
But, and I think the school district had hoped that the sub 200 kids was a blip, that it would come back and
Yeah.
that preschool or young families or whatever. And the evidence is that it's not coming back, right?
Young families that come in can't come to Plainfield, most of them.
Right.
They can't afford to be,
no, unless their parents are willing to chop off a piece of land and let them build a house.
something.
And I think some of what we see, and I remember as a kid, people talking about it in Plainfield Village. The lack of public water and sewer, particularly sewer, really limits the development potential, right? You just don't get subdivisions where you can't have the density that, that's why Lebanon gets all the, I mean, they get them for a bunch of reasons, but we can't have an apartment building in Plainfield because there's no sewer system to connect to it. The only place that's here, is here in Meriden, they've got capacity. But the land is either owned by Kimball Union or it's owned by people that have their house and don't wanna sell it. And so it's just, it does look like the Plainfield school of the past will look, in the future, will look different. It's just, it's not gonna be a school with 300 kids.
No, it isn't, not unless we can combine with Cornish and get it back up to 250 or
Right.
closer to that, and it would be beneficial financially and educationally if that happened.
Right.
it doesn't sound like Cornish's.
Well, the interesting
think
thing,
that's
the Cornish folks want to have a combined district, be one district.
Mhm.
And the Cornish School Board Chair advised people to vote against the tuition thing, thinking that might hurt the chances of actually having a single district where both schools are part of a district. So,
And what's
It's
the,
not clear.
what's the difference between that and the combined SAU? I mean, is it just one set of rules for each school? The kids get the same educational plan, the same?
Yeah, and the way it is right now, you have a combined, you have a management team that manages separately two different districts.
Very different districts,
Okay,
I think, very different people. In terms of, I think, I mean,
some
Plainfield,
of it's different.
yeah, I mean, Plainfield has always been more willing to spend money than Cornish has. I mean, that doesn't mean that's a good or bad thing, it's just historical data would suggest that.
Yeah,
But it is there, it just feels like with the increases that the school has seen and the lack of kids. I mean, I know it started a very painful process this year, it'll probably have to continue it as other retirements and things come. But it is just not a rosy looking picture for a large number of kids
Mm-mm.
in the school. I mean, I was just shocked to see how much older the town had got. Right? I mean, there are,
And a lot of that's happened in the last decade too,
yes, yeah.
or 2 decades, last 20 years.
Right, and so, I mean, as the planning board, I think, I mean, I don't think of Plainfield's rules, land rules, I mean, as being particularly restrictive. You've got,
I would agree.
you got the village resident, there's all sorts of land in the VR zone, the RR zone. RC2, it gets to be, a little bit harder, but that's the more mountainous, rocky, ledgy, less, near town and state roads. But it feels like, our subdivision regs, when was the last time we saw 3.5 acre lot? We don't, we see 5 and 11, right? It's state septics and state current use.
I don't think that it's our land regs that are onerous. I think it's the landowners do not want to subdivide their land.
Right,
And yeah, you can't force them
No.
to.
I mean, the time when we did a lot of that, you had Peony Goodwin buying up land on speculation, selling the logs, and the land was, was there, people were willing to sell it. And-
Well, and that may happen again if we have some of our elderly community that they pass away and their kids don't want the land, and then the
Right, well,
kids are
one of the
selling
things
it.
that's been very telling for me, working with Sarah Berman, who's 30, is. And realtors have been telling us for years, the things that we grew up with are no longer valued by people. Kids don't care about owning land.
Right,
That,
they don't want land, they
Right.
don't want to have to mess with it.
right,
Yeah.
they wanna have a house, they want a lawn they can mow in about 30 minutes or less.
Yeah,
And they wanna go to the climbing wall, or they wanna go to the social media, meet with their friends and so. That may change, that may bring, as all of us will age out. And right, I mean, I used to think, Plainfield be the same forever, well, the people who own the land are only gonna, we all got a lifespan, that's what we got. And so that may lead to more development in the future than what we see right now with sort of the folks that are holding our properties. I mean, we've not had
And
any
it's still
significant.
not gonna be affordable. So I mean, that's the issue.
yeah.
You can't afford to buy, a modular house even.
Right.
Yeah, cause they had one for sale in the mobile home park.
Right, either or-
$200,000 in the park.
Right.
Right.
Did it
It's like
sell?
yeah, I don't know if it's sold, but
David
it's,
Lurch got over 200,000 for his unit in the Spruce Park.
yeah, it's not even on a piece of land. I mean, you're paying a homeowners association fee for the land. So you're still renting the land and you've got a mortgage for $200,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably more the housing chapter, but the ADUs have made a difference, and they haven't ended the world.
Right.
When we all started this little adventure, the Regional Planning Commission, one resident, one lot. That's what you do. You don't mix uses, and you don't mix multiple residences. We do a fair number of ADUs. Some of them are just guest houses, I mean, I look at that thing that Bolduc built in your neighborhood.
Right,
I mean, that is a beautiful home for anybody, but it's just the guest house, right, down there. Now there's new owners, but we do find some. We're doing an ADU up on Methodist Hill right now that is truly for a family member to live in, and so, I think that stuff has helped a bunch,
Yeah.
the ADUs. And so that may at least give people a place to live, or a rental income, or something.
something. I don't know. All right, are we almost set with this?
Yeah, there's one thing I was looking for and I can't find it. Maybe I was looking at something else. But what it says is that we ought to consider making the things that the guidelines that we have for buildings, making that part of the zoning and requiring it is one of the goals, and that seemed to me to conflict, I can't find it,
Is that, oh, I saw that in here, is that the design guidelines?
the design.
Include those as a formal document instead of a voluntary,
Right,
right?
and I'm not sure we wanna do that, that sort of flies in the face of Plainfield's
Live for your
residents
guy.
having a deed.
Right,
Is
right.
that what's highlighted in blue on the last page?
Yeah, okay, I didn't, yeah, oh, there's some. I guess my question
Yes.
is, do we really
On
wanna
the
do? that?
very last page.
Well, it would be opening a can of worms.
I don't think I'd wanna do that.
But the guidelines are not very stringent.
Right, they are, well, and they've been typically for commercial buildings, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we.
For
where
commercial
I've handed
buildings to
them out
try
to
to-
People is,
To design something that would fit in with the character of the neighborhood that is being built in.
as Jane and I
We
sat
could-
through many years ago. What was his name? The guy that was gonna do the first store, Langlois. Langlois came in and he talked about his designs for the deli, and Jane asked him what it was gonna look like. And he said, well, it's gonna be a colonial. And that immediately we thought of clapboards and two divided light windows and a pitched roof. And we all got excited like, yes, here's an applicant we can work with. What he referring to was the Colonial Deli Mart in Lebanon.
Oh,
That was his experience
That's,
with Colonial.
yeah,
And
So
so
we-
right after that, Des Hudson came up with design guidelines.
right, and
Which we've
I
had.
think for some people, some potential business people wanna build a business. They can be useful for them to have some, I mean, people that don't have any architectural sense, maybe they're not having an architect design anything, they're just gonna do it, they're just gonna do it themselves or get LaValleys to put together a package for them or something. When they see it, they're very simple, really. We should probably review, plan it after we get done with this. Go look through those again and see if there are things that we
And we
think.
have used them, we have given them to people
We've
who have.
given it to people and said, it's gonna go a lot easier. We can't say you have to do it this way, but
It would sure
you
be
know,
nice.
it's so easier for you. if you
at the
consider
site plan
them.
review?
It doesn't add any necessarily
I'm
add
not-
any cost to them.
He
It's just
sort of,
those aesthetic choices that
he built a big building in a relatively small spot place, but Brandon
Bailey.
Bailey up here has a copy of those design guidelines. And, tried to make his building look like a barn.
Right,
It's a monster barn in a small area.
Right.
But it does have a pitched roof, it has old time light, I think he did a reasonable, I know he's still got some state issues and town issues with his driveways and accesses, but the building. It may
Itself, I
not
think
fit
he did a nice-
perfectly, but it's his
Right.
building
It's a
and,
nice
and
building.
he,
it's a nice building. It could have been a flat roofed,
right.
butler building. It is.
Right,
So,
right.
I mean, so anyway, I think we should look at the design guidelines. I don't think they're onerous, but I don't know whether we want to codify them either.
Yeah, that's the issue for me. I think the design guidelines, you can give them to people, you can encourage
Yeah.
people,
Say,
but
really think about this because, you want the people, if you're gonna put this in their neighborhood, you want your neighbors to be happy with what you're doing and,
I just don't think that I wanna make an ordinance.
well, that's,
Yeah.
well, but that's what we need to look at.
Okay.
I agree. It's probably not worth, it's not something we wanna go to the mat for.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, I don't think they're that onerous, and we probably should be promoting them more if we ever,
Well, it would be helpful to give them to people who are.
Right, and again, just.
so we're in the planning stages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we-
saying,
yeah.
these are things that are important to maintain the look of the community.
Yeah.
I suspect at some point, although the building outside is pretty well set, at some point you will have an application come forward to deal for something for the Plainfield store, the historical Plainfield store, right? It's most likely gonna be apartments.
It's a Plainfield indoor swimming pool.
Yes, 62,000 gallons of water in there. Although Scott McClay said he's wrong. And we love Scott, but he's like, how could 62,000 gallons of water go in that basement? There was no water in the basement, but that's where the leak was, and the tank was down 62,000 gallons.
Oh, the recent leak?
Yes,
Yeah.
in the store, the owner shut it down, disconnected the meter. We could have seen the unusual run if he kept the meter connected, because the meter's a remote reader, it would have said, Jesus, look at the amount of water that's going through the Plainfield store.
Mhm.
But he disconnected it and then the pipe, a little bit of water caught, froze and it's live right to there, once, to the valve. And, it was, he saw our social media post that we'd said about asking people to slow down on use of water. And he said, boy, I did some work on the store. And literally got the realtor key, however they do it with the box, the code, so Brad could go in and lock, and sure enough, the water's just gushing out of the foundation.
Did it do a lot of damage?
No, that's what McClay was saying, like none.
Sandy soil.
It just- I mean, I guess you can make the argument it returned right to the aquifer, because the well's a half a mile away.
Well, yeah, well, that's good. So have you talked with him? Is he?
Well, he told me he would sell it to me before he listed it for 600,000. He would sell it to me right now if I wanted it, and I didn't. So he was,
Could be a retirement project.
yeah, no, it will not be that, 'cause then I'd have to go back to work. But he is, the challenge there for you guys, and I know you'd bend every rule that we could, because it's a housing. No parking, no space, septic system under the Corey Tabor field.
Right,
Now, it has the septic system from hell, because it was built for that grease trap, commercial kitchen.
right,
For the light, for the Caples project,
right.
but it is, but I think, it's gonna be apartments, right?
That would be
I would
fun.
hope
It
so.
would, if Bright Lights would come online. They have completely redone the hood, the Vernon Hood House,
Right,
beautiful job,
Looks good.
and I'm not sure there's anyone living in it yet. But that would be 4 units, right there.
So I don't want to forget to mention what we were touching base on right before the meeting, just so that
Sure.
everybody. I want to contact the department heads to see if they'll review the chapters that apply to their departments, to make sure that we didn't miss anything, and if they have any
Sure.
kind of input. And I'm hoping that,
Which department heads were you thinking of?
well, the town administrator is pretty free with his opinion, so I don't think we need to ask him
Yeah.
specifically.
Right,
But for facilities,
right,
for the highway department.
Right.
The same kind of thing that's happening with the Conservation Commission, because they're the ones doing the chapter.
so you should probably get that out to them, if we wanna wrap this up, and don't we
Yeah,
wanna wrap
we
this
do.
up
we want to
We
wrap
do.
this up.
badly.
Yes, we do.
So, so how do you wanna convey to Grace? Are you gonna get me a copy with your, of the notes and things from tonight with your
Oh,
comments?
There are really only a couple of things that we are asking her to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so. I think the only main thing is just to update that table. And some of that data, I think, is right there, it's readily available, so.
Okay, can you in the morning email me a copy of of your comments? I printed it, but I didn't take it off the,
I'll just leave you the thumb drive.
what have we got left after this one?
well, we've got economic base and housing for the next, those are the two that Grace just
Yeah.
got me.
Right, but we.
So we have those
Okay.
in-house, we just felt like tonight was enough.
Right, so we've got to get.
But
through that.
So that will be
Those
the
two.
April workshop, will be those. Then we're waiting for the Conservation Commission and its redos on all these other chapters, and then it gets back to the work of trying the common voice. Or
Yeah,
that,
well, it seems to me that we ought to, I need to make more notes on this, so I'm not gonna give it to you. Because I didn't write down on here, delete this table, delete.
right, anything you can do to help Grace, what we need her to do.
Yeah.
And I'll get you, or I will get the data out of the town reports in the next little bit for that land use stuff, and I can forward that to her as well.
Okay.
That we talked about,
Yep,
the
Well, if you're
everything.
gonna forward it to her, then I'm not gonna mess with it. I mean, you can forward it to me, but if she's gonna get it, she might as well do the table.
Sure, yes,
Or not, I mean, I can do the table.
yes,
So
right,
once we have all of the chapters finalized, like for content,
yeah,
then I can give them one beginning to end.
well,
Right.
Smooth.
but I think what we
polish it.
wanna make sure of is that, that they're reasonably well done. And we don't have any glaring things like we found tonight with table references and things.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And basically, it's an important document on the website, it is not a John Grisham novel. In
Right,
terms of what people are gonna do, I think it's supposed to, reflect the survey, which is a big piece of new information that we've done. We gotta have at least, we should probably have 2 meetings, one on each side of town, just to say we did, right? Have a
Mhm.
planning board, have a workshop. I mean, this will take most of summer to get done, but I don't think we have to do this kind of stuff.
Right,
You know, but if we keep to the workshops and say on the, okay, we're gonna meet with the public over at the Plainfield Library for the May workshop or whatever it happens to be. We need the chapter from the Conservation Commission, they, in their, their natural resources. But I think essentially that should be the NRI, right? Just give us,
yeah,
give us that, call it and be done. So we're not that far off.
but we just gotta get it done.
Right, it does appear, and I'll try to work with Grace on it, they're not really reading the content, they're doing, when they have to add words, cause they're adding a whole new thing. But they didn't look up the next paragraph and say, well, look, that's all outdated, I mean, so,
Right.
and we don't want references to things in our master plan, it just ruins the credibility of it, right?
Correct.
We just want the old
Correct.
stuff out.
Correct.
But I think we can get there. I mean, the reality is April, I mean, if we had subdivisions or site plan reviews in April, we would have them by now, right? It's middle of March
Right,
and we don't. So the April meetings, both meetings in April will be master plan.
good,
And like I said,
So do
I have the next meetings here right now. I mean, Grace gave us those, so we know we'll have 2 chapters to do at the next meeting.
okay. And if we get stuff out to the department heads, we can ask them to feedback and I said within 2 weeks.
Yeah, within 2 weeks, I think is,
That's fine, we just wanna, and I don't suspect we're gonna get very much,
no,
but I think it is a courtesy to them to just be
Sure,
sure
no, it's a
we know
great
what
idea.
we're talking.
Well, I'll do a little work on this one, see if I can rework some of the wording and make notes about the tables and stuff. But I'm not gonna be here for the next 3 meetings, so.
Right,
the next
Okay.
3,
mhm.
He's taking his motor home to Texas.
huh, imagine that,
I know, we gotta look at maybe a pay cut.
you're fired. That's all there is to it.
Hallelujah.
I knew he was gonna be happy with that.
I told Atwater this morning, I said, well, shit, Brad, if you hadn't been included in Maria's motion, I was gonna vote for it. I texted Melissa, who was not there, and she feels bad about that, but I texted her and I said, retirement could be 7 minutes away. Stay focused.
oh, well, I hope that she learned
Oh, no,
something.
she's already badgered us today with a bunch of stuff.
Oh,
We should probably adjourn.
Yeah,
Okay,
we probably should.
All those in favor of adjournment?
okay.